Welcome back to Off the Ball Sunday here on Newstalk. Shane Hannon with you through until 7 p.m. The full-time whistle has gone at Croke Park. Kilkenny are the Leinster Senior Hurling Champions. It is 6 in a row complete for Derek Lyng's side. Tommy Walsh, talk us through it.
Yeah, the 6 in a row is complete. There's some really, really scary moments from a Kilkenny point of view. With about 3-4 minutes to go, Shane, at one stage there were 2-19 to 12 points ahead, so 13 points up at one stage. Galway scored their next 1-6. They outscored Kilkenny 1-6 to no score, brought it back to a 4-point game. It was tit for tat then right to the end, and then Micheál got his second goal of the day. Ball came in high, kind of went around anyway. He got a flick in at the end. So for Kilkenny, there's some scary moments. What really brought Galway back into the game was that goal. Cathal Mannion took a short free from about 35-40 yards out, found Brian Concannon. Brian Concannon soloed through 3 or 4 Kilkenny players, got a shot off to the top corner. Hard to beat Owen Murphy on the best of the days, but by God, he bet him there today, and it had to be a good shot to beat him. And Kilkenny are after winning the 6 in a row, yeah. All day long, I would say, Shane, they looked the better team from play. So most of the Kilkenny team, I'd say, back as far as the number 5 for Kilkenny, scored from play. I think Richie Reid is the only guy from 5 to 15 that didn't score from play here today. And like most of the Kilkenny forwards even scored 2 points or more from play. We left you last after TJ Reid soloed through in the first half to create the first goal for Micheál. Well, Mossy repaid the favour. He had a fantastic game right throughout, both defending and attacking. He soloed through, and we heard Brendan Cummins talking during the week after Tipperary had their victory in the under-20, and all their players, Darren McCarthy and all the other players that gave interviews, it was all about the team. It was all about unselfish play, that whatever I can do, if it's good for the team, I'm going to do it. And Micheál was straight through. I'd say he was about at the 14-yard line. A less experienced player, a player that wanted to get his name on the score sheet, shot that 9 times out of 10. But no, let's make it certain. So he soloed through, drew the Galway player, hand passed it into TJ Reid, and it was only going to be one result after that. He buried the ball to the right-hand corner of the net. So for Kilkenny, we said before the game, would goals win matches? And I think that was the result here today. It was 3-22 to Kilkenny and 1-20 to Galway.
Yeah, an 8-point margin in the end, Tommy, in this one. Topsy-turvy at different points, but as you say, Kilkenny the better team throughout. The late goal for Micheál, I mean, very fortuitous, and obviously you feel bad for a young goalkeeper when they make a mistake, and young Dara Walsh in goals for Galway getting consoled by his teammates and Mayor Fournier and by Micheál Donoghue at the end. Nobody wants to see that. He was clearly quite upset.
Yeah, listen, these things happen, and I'm not going to dwell on it. Mistakes happen. I made a million of them myself over the course of my career, but when you're on the goal, it's just highlighted that bit more. And listen, Kilkenny look like they're going to win it anyway, so there's no blame going to the goalie, absolutely not. He'll have plenty of good days ahead of him. Every player goes through them kind of moments, and Micheál is just one of those guys who's just waits for the opportunity, waits for that mistake. And hurling is a game of mistakes. Free takers miss frees, forwards miss chances, defenders miss the flight of a ball and allow their guy in to score goals. So there's plenty of other mistakes happened all over the field, and there was one particular phase there before that where the ball went in, Galway were on top, huge high ball into the Galway full forward line. They were starting to cause trouble. Young Tiernan Killeen was a sub with number 23 in his back with a yellow helmet. He was fantastic when he came on, Shane, and he really took the game and took the battle to Kilkenny with his pace, his skill and his will to just look for the ball and win the ball. And he scored a couple of points and set up a couple of chances, but that ball went in, and Hugh Lawler again rose to the clouds and caught that ball and came out with the ball, and Kilkenny got a fantastic score out of it. Like, if you look through the scorers here today, TJ Reid scored 1-4, so he's still chasing Hoggy. They've that battle. Hoggy has 767 points after last night, 32 goals and 671 points. He has that. TJ Reid, before coming into today, has 7 goals and 40 points to be the top scorer of all time, Shane. So that's 27 points in the difference for today. Along my calculations, TJ Reid scored 1-4, which is 7 points. So he's narrowing that gap to 20 points. So there's a lot more to be played. The two of them are into the All-Ireland semi-final, so possibly they'll have the same amount of games left, bar one of them reaches the All-Ireland final and one of them doesn't. So that's an interesting battle, and TJ Reid did celebrate that goal as if that, you know, is important to him, and Kilkenny winning Leinster titles is important to him and to all the other players. We've seen them embracing after the game. Paddy Deegan embraced TJ. There was a group of them over underneath the Cusack stand side of the field down near the Hill 16. There's a couple of 100 Kilkenny people still on the Hill 16 waiting for John Donnelly, the Thomastown player, the Kilkenny captain, to lift that cup. Donnelly, a famous name in Thomastown. There he is. The cup is lifted. You're not allowed in the field here in Croke Park. There's no plan B here today like there was last night. And Thomastown captain said before, after they won the county final last year, 2024 will be forever blue in Kilkenny hurling. Well, they get their awards then today, because if you win the county final in Kilkenny, you still get to nominate the captain. And it's a fabulous, fabulous honour for any club, because Thomastown, they've been around a long time. They've been there for years, battling away to come from junior to intermediate to senior. And they had Stephen and they had John out there today, and John is lifting that cup on behalf of the Kilkenny players and the Kilkenny panel. And Adrian Mullen was fantastic. He scored 4 points from play and 1 high balls, 1 low balls when the game was there. Mossy Keown scored 2-2. Billy Ryan, who you mentioned earlier on, Shane, he's having the year of his life. He's really stepping up to the plate and showing that he's been around a long time and prepared to take on a leadership role. Billy Ryan scored 3 points from play. As I said, Adrian Mullen got the 4. Paddy Deegan scored. Stephen Donnelly scored 2. Cian Kenny at midfield scored 2. Mikey Carey scored 2. So listen, a fantastic all-round performance from Kilkenny. For Galway, they can be proud that they never give up. We spoke about that a couple of games this year where they conceded 11-point defeat or 12-point defeats. I think there was 4 of them already this year. It was looking like it was heading that way, but they stuck at it, and none more so than Cathal Mannion. Brilliant all day long, scoring points, taking frees, and setting up that last goal for Brian Concannon. Kevin Cooney, I thought, was worked hard all day and was very honest. He scored 3 points. As I said, Tiernan Killeen, he'll definitely put his name forward as in, I want to start on this Galway team. He scored 2 points after coming on as a sub, and I would probably expect him maybe to start when they play the winners of Tipperary. I think Tipperary playing the loser today, which is Laois, so that will be an interesting match. If it ends up being Galway and Tipperary, many great battles have they had all over the year. So the year isn't finished for Galway, Shane, and the year for Kilkenny people is hopefully just beginning.
Yeah, lovely scenes there of the Kilkenny captain, as you said, and Thomastown man John Donnelly posing with the trophy. A proud moment for him and his family. I remember him saying when he got the captaincy as well that it's never something that he thought would be possible to even captain Kilkenny. So to lift the trophy and get to make that speech at the Leinster final is a great achievement for him and his family and his club as well. You mentioned Hugh Lawler, and I think just before that he was interviewed on pitch as well. Tommy, man of the match. I mean, the balls he was catching in the air, just what made him stand out above the rest today was brilliant.
I'm watching Hugh Lawler for a good number of years now, Shane. He was a small guy, would you believe, when he was young. But yeah, when he was 9 or 10 or 11 years of age, he was tiny. He was like Messi. That's how small he was. And just had a spurt and a growth spurt in his teenage years. And now, he's one of the tallest and biggest players, I'd say, in the inter-county game. And he has the speed and reactions of a small guy. And the agility, and a magnificent agility. So he has these big long arms, like the great JJ Delaney for Kilkenny back all those years ago, and the ball comes in, you have a feeling he's going to get to the ball no matter where it is. So even if it breaks, normally full backs maybe you're hoping to win the ball first, get out and win the ball before your man does. But even if Hugh Lawler's guy wins it, he's able to just flick him and keep the ball and keep the man out. He's such a strong player, and I'd say what's made him stand out today was his ability in the air, and his ability to attack that ball and catch it in the air. And what it means then to the team, Shane, is that you can go man on man further out the field, and your half-backs can possibly follow or push up the field looking for scores. The Paddy Deegans and the Mikey Careys of this world, they can push up, because if the ball goes inside and it is a race, Hugh Lawler can get there. You're not worried about leaving them exposed. And in fairness to them, they're a great partnership, himself and Micheál Carey and Tommy Walsh back there. They'll be there a good number of years and have defended heroically. And there could have been a few more man of the matches. I thought Micheál Carey in that second half was simply superb. As Bader graced this field on many the occasion up here in Croke Park, and he's really taken his game to a new level the last couple of months. Other players, I thought Adrian Mullen, I nearly cried myself in Nolan Park. Was that against Galway in the first game? It possibly was. He was back from that long layoff with so many injuries and was going quite well and went down with an ankle injury, and I said, oh my God, is he gone for the year again? And now look at him, back, winning ball, back in his own half back line. But not alone, he's probably changed his game a little bit in that he's not just going back anymore, he's now winning it up in the full forward line as well. So I thought he was fantastic. And of course Micheál, the guy who was in the form of his life earlier on in the league. I was a little bit worried for him because he was so good out the field, centre forward, wing forward, in the game the whole time. Some guys like to be busy the whole time. Mossy is definitely one of those players. But when the championship came back and a few more players like Satija came back, they put Mossy in full forward and corner forward, where you get probably half the amount of chances, half the amount of possessions. But up he stepped again today with 2-2 and an assist for TJ Reid, and I can't emphasise the unselfishness of the likes of a Richie Power, Noel McGrath, for Galway, even the likes of Joe Canny. These unselfish players, great players, they're not there just to get their own name on the scoreboard. If it's good for the team, and he was 14 yards out, I would have put me hat on him, he would have scored it. No, let's make sure of it. Pass into TJ rattles it. It's good for team spirit as well.
Yeah, absolutely. How important, Tommy, obviously you get to lift the O'Keefe Trophy as well, but at the same time, that 4-week gap you get now to the All-Ireland semi-final for Derek Lyng, Kilkenny, they're well used to it. Of course, this is 6 in a row in Leinster that they've got straight through to the semi-finals. Cork will have that advantage as well. It can be a challenge in one way, obviously, but it allows the players, I guess, a chance to properly celebrate winning a provincial title and then reset.
It does, yeah, and allow them to celebrate and, you know, enjoy each other's company today and tomorrow, and kind of, as you said, a reset. Maybe take a couple of days where you go into a recovery session, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, so that you can start building it back up then. Say start next Monday, it'll be a 3-week build up to an All-Ireland semi-final, and you're avoiding Tipperary if they come through their quarter-final clash. Like to avoid, or say pre-quarter final, you're avoiding Tipperary, and like any day you go into a battle in a quarter final with Tipperary, it's just a 50-50 battle. It really is. Like, they're on cloud 9 after winning the under-21 All-Ireland. You know, they're after winning a lot of All-Irelands, minor under-21 and senior, we'll say, the last 10 years. They're top probably of the roll of honour in all counties of winning All-Ireland titles in them 3 age grades over the last 10 years. I think it's with 8. I think they've won 8 and maybe possibly lost 1, but so you don't want to be playing against them. You know, Darren McCarthy and these guys coming in, O'Sheen coming in from the under-21 age group, then your seniors like Noel McGrath, John McGrath in the form of their lives, and you know, it's kind of a lottery then after that, and then you're only out a week or two later in an All-Ireland semi-final against the Munster champion. So you avoid all that and you can get ready for what's coming, and it's going to be interesting. I don't think the 4-week break will be a challenge to them. There's plenty of good players in there to have plenty of good 15-on-15 games during the weeks. So I think it's what we needed. It's what was expected, I suppose, coming into this game as favourites, that these young players, that they would go on and do it. And I see Racker Cody down there. How many Leinster Championships does Racker have? More than any player anyway, and fantastic serving there. He's in with for photographs there with Mikey Butler and Paddy Deegan. So yeah, look, a fantastic day for Kilkenny, 6 in a row, and yes, plenty more to happen hopefully for the rest of the summer.
What are those moments like, Tommy? I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, there's 10 Leinster Senior Championships you won in your career with Kilkenny. Quite incredible. And those moments you see on the pitch with the little kids running around, kids of the players obviously on the panel with their Kilkenny jerseys on, and moments those kids will never forget and the families will never forget either. But it must be lovely. No matter how many times you win a Leinster Championship, it's still a very special achievement for your family, for your club, for yourself.
To win, and there's TJ out playing with his little daughter, fantastic to see. But you cannot beat, and any hurler, any footballer, any sports person will tell you, you cannot beat winning titles. Winning titles gives you the belief, gives you the satisfaction going home that you're a winner. Because when you win, like, first of all, you go back in October, November, December, you train hard with the hope of helping your team to win titles, and hopefully that you can make an impact on the small days, on the big days, that allow your team to go forward. And I know managers, coaches, players, they will always talk about performance and the stats and KPIs, but to win titles is a special feeling, and that doesn't matter whether it's a Welsh Cup, that doesn't matter whether it's a league, that doesn't matter whether it's a Leinster Championship, an All-Ireland Championship. To win titles means everything. To win a tournament is a great feeling, because you go home and you see the photographs with the plaque, with the Bob O'Keefe Cup, with the Lee McCarthy Cup, with the Mick Mackey Cup. Just special feeling that when you see the numbers after your game, after a season. How do we get on this year? We won the Leinster Championship. Brilliant. If you go on and win an All-Ireland again, better again. You have 2 championships behind your name, behind the team's name. There's a photograph of you there as winners. So to win things, that's what the days you prepare for. And it's not the be-all and end-all. So don't get me wrong, there's a huge balance, and especially with young players. But when they do come, you have to enjoy them, because they're the crown and glory. They're the results of all your hard work. The reason that you're out in the field playing, 3-a-side in your back garden, trying to score the first 11 points, and you might be 4 years of age playing an 8-year-old. You know, that kind of a way. They're the days that you love playing. And players, I'd even see it in training. You bring a match situation into it where you say, listen, there's going to be a winner at the end of this training session, and you keep the score. The intensity goes up 5 or 6 levels. It's unbelievable. And that's whether it's under 14 level or whether it's at senior level. And it could be even 3 or 4 games in the one training session. And hats off to the lads. This will mean a lot to them, to put that Leinster Championship behind their name. Like, I was even looking at Seamus Harnedy last night. Like, does he now have 4 Munster Championships? You know, they're special things that when you look back in your career, that they're lovely to look back and say it was worth it, because not everybody gets to win an All-Ireland. Not everybody gets to win what they want to win. So if there's something there on the table to win it. And don't take it for granted, and don't put false steam or train doubly hard that week so that you're tired and you don't want to show anyone anything. You go back and look at the league champions last year. Who was it? Clare. Who went on and won the All-Ireland? Clare. You know, after being beaten convincingly later on that Munster final. But I'm sure at some stage it came into their heads, we were able to do it in the big day, and we went on and won it. Who won the league final this year? You know, the first time in a couple of years. Cork. Who went on then won the Munster Championship last night against kind of the head. It looked like Limerick were going to do it. Cork. So I always think that winning things, don't ever be afraid of winning things. They will help you. They will help you out, and they'll help everybody out. Go back to Galway. Micheál Donoghue got involved with Galway back in, you know, the mid-2000s. They went on and won, I'd say, they definitely won the league and championship. I'm not sure did they win the Welsh Cup as well, clean everything for them. So winning things matter. And so listen, I would never feel, you know, that you're giving away any secrets or you're showing any form. Win it if it's there, Shane.
And the next one Kilkenny, of course, want to win is Liam McCarthy. Tommy, there's a piece in the Sunday Times I was reading earlier today. Christy O'Connor is writing. He says, Leinster hurling longing for share of the spotlight. Munster teams have won last 7 All-Irelands, and their supremacy leaves the rival championship in the shadows. Kilkenny will really, really want to go that next step further this year, won't they?
They will, because I suppose for years then Leinster, we were winning all the All-Irelands. Like, you go from, 2000, 2009, those 10 years. You know, how many All-Irelands did Leinster win in those years versus Munster? You know, that was heavily favoured in the favour of Leinster. So it's Munster's turn at the moment. So absolutely, Christy is 100% right. Leinster people and Kilkenny people, and the teams are in the Leinster Championship, which is Galway as well. They'll be absolutely determined to bring the Lee McCarthy Cup back to their province, because we are a proud province. And when you see, the likes of the Limericks over the last couple of years in Tipperary's winning those All-Irelands, you would say, listen, wouldn't it be great if it came back over this side again? So they will be very determined. But to win an All-Ireland final, as the great Willie Mullen said after one of the Cheltenham races, you have to be in it, you have to turn up to win it. Well, as regards hurling, you have to be in the All-Ireland final to win it. So that semi-final is going to be huge. It's going to be absolutely huge. I'm not sure, is it the first day or the second day? Hopefully it's the first day, because I'm on holidays on the Sunday.
Most importantly.
Yeah, so I'm not really sure, but they're on a Saturday and a Sunday, and that was a glorious idea that was brought in, kind of a super All-Ireland semi-final weekend those number of years ago. 2018 was the first year of it. I remember Limerick played Cork, and I'd say it was Galway played Clare on that magnificent weekend, and that was the start of it. They were magical weekend. There were huge games. Limerick came through after titanic battle against Cork. They were 5 or 6 points down, I'd say, with not much left on the clock, maybe 8 or 9 minutes left on the clock, and I, as far as I can remember, Galway and Clare was a draw, and that went to a replay in Thurles. So these All-Ireland semi-final weekends are fantastic, and you know, if you were to predict it at this stage, you would probably predict that it'll be Kilkenny versus maybe Limerick, you know, unless, you know, Dublin or one of the Joe McDonagh Cup teams, you know, shock Limerick. You'd expect Limerick will come back to All-Ireland semi-final. What a battle that would be. You know, Limerick and Kilkenny, we all remember, well, we don't remember, we've seen the stories and the YouTube clips of 1973 and Limerick winning their All-Ireland against Kilkenny, and then those battles back in 2017, the battle in 2019, and then those All-Ireland finals that Limerick won in 22 and 23. So that will be a phenomenal battle. And then the other semi-final then will be Cork as Munster champions, and what a crowd they're going to bring to Croke Park. I'd predict that will be a sellout. So there'll be some promotion and some week of build-up, I'd say, to that All-Ireland semi-final. And who will they face? You would imagine it's going to be Galway versus, you know, Tipperary. You would predict to win their games. That's Galway and Tipperary. All form would suggest that will be Tipperary, but you never know in those games. So that will be a magical semi-final to look forward to. So yeah, a great couple of weeks ahead in the Senior Hurling Championship.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it, Tommy. Brilliant work yesterday and today. Thanks a million for everything, Tommy.
Shane, best of luck.
Fair play, best of luck, safe home. Tommy Walsh there at Croke Park with us, calling the action this afternoon and bringing us up to speed on the game that saw Kilkenny become the Leinster Senior Hurling Champions for the 6th year in a row. Kilkenny 3 goals and 22 points. Galway 1 goal and 20 points was the full-time score in that game. So an 8-point victory for Kilkenny in that match.
We had a disappointing result for you in the end. Flat chiefly for a long period. How would you summarise the game?
Yeah, obviously disappointed with the result. I think up to, in the first half, I think it was cagey enough. It was 10-9 coming up to half time, and then obviously Kilkenny get the goal to have a 4-point gap at half time. And then obviously at half time we tried to address a few things, and look, the priority was to try and come out and attack the game. Which we didn't, and which was disappointing, and obviously Kilkenny took full advantage and showed the experience that they have. And I think then obviously when they had that reflected on the scoreboard, you know, they're set up with maybe their 6 dropping off as a sweeper, and we really struggled with that. And then I thought when we pushed up and figured that out, and then we started being a bit more dominant in our own half back line, got back into the game, brought it back to 4, and then the concession of the 1-1 really quickly just took the wind out of the sails again.
You mentioned the Kilkenny number 6, Richie Reid. He was very much alone for a long period. You'll be probably reflecting that maybe you should have pressed up a lot earlier and not allowed him that amount of space, because he was creating a fair bit of deliveries into the Kilkenny attack.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any reason why you didn't press up on him?
Look, I think when you're looking at them, look, he drops off the whole time. Obviously, it was something that we had discussed. But I said, look, in the second half, when they had that gap, it was easy for them. And as I said, when we figured it out, we came back into the game a bit.
Micheál, you went about 42 minutes there without anyone but Colin Langan tagging on the score for you. And then when Lyng gets that point, you get hot and score 1-6. For you looking on, like, what's missing there? Like, why couldn't you get others into the game? Like, not sticking for forward line, or what was
No, I think from our point of view, in terms of the way we wanted to play, we just didn't from the start of the game. And look, you have to give all the credit to Kilkenny, and they showed the great experience that they have. And equally, look, we knew coming up that it was going to be one of the biggest challenges we had all year. So we would have been disappointed, obviously, that, as I said, we didn't implement our own style on it. And yeah, the reliance on Cahill, he showed how important he is again today to us. And I think maybe in the first half we were lorrying it from too far out, and Hugh Lawler was dominant in it. And I think, look, the positives, and we have to take the positives out of it. When we did get it going and working it through the lines, we were better.
Yeah, it was a bit of a funny one. It was so close until Mossy Keown get that first goal, and then it's a 4-point game again on 66 minutes, and you're right back in it.
Yeah.
Like, in terms of what you're trying to build in Galway, do you feel like you're far away looking at that? Because at times Kilkenny were so far away from you.
Yeah, and absolutely. Look, and as I said, we weren't, in the build-up to it, people are saying we're back, and have big opportunities. And look, we've huge belief and trust in the group. The disappointment thing is, when you see what they did do for a 10-minute, 12-minute period in the game, that's the positives we're taking out of, and that's what we'll try and build on as we move forward.
How would you characterise, Micheál, where you expected Galway to be before the season began to where you are right now? I mean, has it been a bigger job for you than you had anticipated?
No, I wouldn't say a bigger job. Obviously, look, the disappointment of today, and I suppose the narrative will be that it's probably similar to previous years and previous teams. But look, we know what we have in the squad, and I said we'll try and take the positives out of today as we move forward.
What do you do here? What is the game plan as such?
Sure, the boys will probably go out and let off a bit of steam tonight, and then we regroup and go again.
It's temporary.
Yeah, look, huge challenge again. But I said, we know it's going to be a big task, but look, as I said, we still have full faith and trust in the group that we can bounce back. Okay. Concussion.
Sorry?
A concussion. Yeah.
Hello, Gary. 6 in a row, hosting for a long period, and then we're not sure we might be able to tell us what. Talk about the game. How you saw it?
Yeah, look, I think pretty much like that, Nicky. We were performing very well for large parts of it, and Galway got a bit of momentum then. They were picking off scores. This is like the top class forwards, and they picked off some very good scores. And I suppose the goal was very disappointing how that happened. We would have been very disappointed with that and how we conceded that. And I suppose that gave Galway a great lift at that stage, and the momentum was with them. So I thought our response was very positive though at that stage. We got back into it, picked off a few scores, so and just settled back into the game. We probably made a few changes at that time as well, and it just looked like we kind of lost our shape for a few minutes. But overall, just pleased how we finished the game then as well.
Generally, the first half was very flat.
Yeah.
What do you put that down to? I mean, neither side really wanted to go at one another as you might do in the provincial final.
Yeah, I think it was just a little bit cagey in the first half, and I think both teams had, probably disappointing wise. Look, what you put that down to, I'm not sure. A little bit nervous or whatever, and just settling into the game. But we finished that half strong. I think the goal was, was an important score for us and gave us a bit of breathing room. We started the second half very well, and we were strong for large parts of the second half. But obviously there was a spell there that we'd be disappointed with. But look, today was about getting the result. The performance overall was decent, I thought. We know there's a lot of room for improvement, and we go into a knockout phase now. It's everything ramps up, and we have a few weeks that we're going to have to really utilise and work very hard and get the heads down for the next day.
Richie Reid given a huge amount of space. Adrian Mullen allowed to do a lot of wandering around the field. Galway didn't pick them up. Did that surprise you?
Well, look, every team, I suppose, look at Galway had players back to field as well, and to be fair to Richie, he was pushing up, but he's very good at sitting back when he needs to as well. And like Adrian's game is just he's working back to field an awful lot, and he's excellent at doing it. But from our own perspective, you're looking for work rate from our half forward line in particular, and Adrian was one of those, and he did a huge amount of work today.
Hugh Lawler, one of the great exhibitions of full-back today. I mean, it's reminiscent of some of the great players in the past, where he goes up like a gazelle in the air to get the ball. It must encourage you on the sideline.
Yeah, look, it's brilliant. It's a brilliant skill to have, and somebody that can attack the ball and just block it from the sky like that. And he was excellent, and gives a lift to everybody around him as well. That confidence that you have in a full back. But I thought overall, the effort, not just from Hugh, from everybody that was involved, was excellent. I thought our work rate was very good. And maybe it dipped a little bit there, but I thought, a bit of resilience there to take back the game under our control near the end was very positive as well.
And last for me, you named Shane Murphy in the subs, and obviously young Cody wasn't named. So where are they going? Would you think both of them will be ready for selection the next day?
Definitely. Look, Shane is just back, and it was a different type of injury. So there was no kind of concerns about Shane really in the last week. Owen was cutting it very fine. He's not too far away at all, so we just didn't take a chance on him today. If he had to have a setback, that'd be 0 over. So Owen is actually looking very strong. So hopefully, the next couple of weeks we'll bring him on an awful lot. So hopefully we'll have him the next day.
Do you think you've been properly sort of road tested now for what's going across the place over the expanse of the Leinster campaign?
I think we have. Look, from the start of the Leinster campaign, we're always spoken about as being favourites, but we put a huge amount of work into each game, and we prepare for each game. Like any other, it doesn't matter who you're playing. I think it's probably taken for granted that we're going to go and win these games, but a huge amount of work goes into it, particularly from the players. They do it all, and we've been working very hard at that, and. So I suppose I don't want to. I'm not sure. We were tested. We've been tested in different games at different stages. We lost to Wexford in Dublin. We would have been disappointed with a spell in that game as well, and likewise today. So, regardless of who we were playing, we know we're going to have to find another gear or two for the next day, and that's the reality of it. But that's something we'll go after, and we're looking forward to that. But we took this campaign very seriously, and we got our reward today. We're Leinster champions, and that was the objective. But at the same time, we know we've a lot of work to do.
What do the next couple of weeks look like for you, Derek, after maybe tonight? Obviously, we've no idea who's going to end up in the All-Ireland semi-final, but after last night, it could be Limerick.
Yeah, possibly, yeah. So I suppose, look, we'll make a few plans the next couple of days now, but, the next few days we'll take off and we're back then for recovery maybe midweek, and, it's getting the heads down again. We've a lot of, like I said, we've a bit of work to do now, and there's competition in the squad as well, which is really good. Like I said, we've lads coming back from injury, and some lads didn't play today, and it was marginal calls, for the first 15. So that's what we want. We need that competition there in the squad, and so yeah, look, we'll enjoy the next couple of days, but after that, it's really heads down now.
We hear so much about that in squads, especially at the top level of hurling, that it's the standards are set inside, and the rootlessness in training is a big thing. Can that just switch on, or does something in particular have to happen in the next couple of weeks for that to go up a few gears?
No, look, this year we've had a very competitive squad, and training has been really good, and we've had that competition. So we just need to probably pick it up again. Like during the campaign, you don't really get a chance for lots of games, and you're going week to week, so it's really about recovery more than anything else. But in the run up to the Leinster campaign, we had a good run at it, and I thought, coming into the first game against Galway, we had a lot of work done. I thought we hit the ground running, and we need to get back to that now and use the next couple of weeks to build that momentum again and raise the standard as well. So, but look, it's a great place to be, and the alternative was out, you'd be out in 2 weeks and it'd be do or die. Now we have a few weeks to prepare and get ready for a semi-final.
There seems to be a magic number in modern day hurling. 1-9 in the first half, 2-13 in the second half. So now going forward to the All-Ireland semi-final, all games seem to have to get more than 20 points now. So you're capable of that today. It didn't look like it for a while, but you got it, and got it up to 23 in total. So it is a magic number, how is it?
Yeah, look, it seems to be all right, and look, we would have been disappointed with some of the wides in the first half, but we were asking for players to be brave as well on the ball and to go for it, and if you have a wide or two, just to keep going as well. We don't you don't want lads to stop shooting just because you've had a wide or two. So we know we're going to get the chances again, and just have the confidence to go for it. And
You did get a few nice quality long range scores, but you did go for it.
yeah, we did. So look, it's not conceding as much then on the other side. So there's two parts to it, but working on both at the minute. But yeah, pleased enough with our shooting particularly in the second half. Yeah.
Massive advance 2 goals, probably came at crucial times in first half and second half. So to have that kind of going into front is important, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. The goals are massive, and they give you a huge boost to everybody really, especially on the pitch. And they're at crucial times as well. Particularly the last goal, it just kind of killed the game off as well. And Mossy's been in, there's a skill in being in the right place at the right time as well. And he followed, I think it was the 2 goals in, and they were really important, particularly the one before half time as well. Just gave us that little bit of breathing room and that bit of a cushion starting off the second half.
You was mentioned TJ up front. Experience played a lot for the Kilkenny. That's very common, even though the team did play well as a unit. Hugh Lawler, for what he did and the way he got, I think the 4 great balls that he did win in the game, he got 4 scores off them, so that was huge.
They were massive, yeah. Look, I remember particularly one, he came up the field, and I think Billy Ryan finished off as a super scorer. And look, he was a fantastic player and very athletic, and he strode up the pitch and use it really well. I suppose for any full-back coming out there, it's important that he gets it to somebody on the same team, because you're turned over. You have to be careful of that, but it was a great score. And look, they're an experienced set of backs as well. They've been there for the last couple of years as well, and worked very well as a unit. And look, it's about the team all the time and defending together and attacking together. So Hugh was well able to travel up when he needs to.
Did you catch any of the Joe McDonagh Cup final a little earlier? Former teammate of yours leading Kildare over the line? Yeah,
look, they had a fantastic win. Yeah, I just saw a couple of minutes of it. I think they were a point or 2 down, and but they looked like they were coming, back into the game at that stage. So it's a fantastic achievement for Brian and Kildare. It's a huge, brilliant story, I think, for hurling as well, and for Kildare and all the work that they put in the last number of years. So great to see that happen.
Ask your impressions of last night's Ulster final, Derek.
It was great to sit back and just enjoy it. It was an excellent game. I thought, there wasn't great excitement in it. Felt sorry for them having to go to penalties all right at the end, but look, a great way for Cork to finish up. I think on the winning team, when you come out on top on penalties, it doesn't matter how you win it, but could have went either way.
Would you prefer not to see the penalties yourself?
I think it's hard on players. I think at the end of a replay would have been, but that's. I know we have a new system in place and we're kind of caught for time. I just think we're a little bit too caught at the minute. But in saying that, it made for a great spectacle as well. But I think, to be fair to players, I think a replay would have been more fair to them.